Come on, get in the middle. Yeah.
I love it.
You're right on the stuff there.
Oh, I am?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. I just came here to talk about
Most
that.
people.
Yeah.
Where you lead with your hands and then snap through the ball. And that turns out to be the best way to become a good player.
Yeah.
I can't
It's
get
all
the
right.
playing right.
See you.
One more.
I don't know what it is.
We're down.
There's something with the,
Supposed to be on my team.
golf is one of those things that you just try, but.
You got this, okay, right? You got this, right?
No, I'm moving it all on your hands today.
A year ago, I went out with
Going
Justin.
just live on the, I don't know if y'all had, oh, y'all remember the little training like we did here today. But
And I went out and just showed him a few things. The day,
everything I'll ask him to say, I'm gonna
he
point
shows
you.
up, he's got bag, gloves, full outfit, you know, hat right down through the golf shoes and everything. He had it all. And he turned out to be decent.
Really?
Yeah. And I think he's been of course since.
Are you planning to speak okay, once the meeting starts, they'll say we open the public hearing, and then that's when you have the opportunity to speak. So you have to go ahead and kind of wait for that. But we'll let y'all know when it's time.
Where neither one of which is.
What are you, is your property here? On Fraser?
No, Brad was here.
Sorry, you're gonna have to leave.
Actually.
We'll make Berkeley,
Maybe I can get you
what is that? Oh, isn't it his grant school? But this is your court.
Bert, how you doing?
Oh, I don't do that. The reason I'm here is because we're going over extenuation training.
Oh, there it is.
No, yeah, he is. Hey, Lou.
Hey, you doing?
Hey, is James Hammond
No. We're waiting on,
here? Typical for the board of adjustment.
we're waiting on one alternate, but I mean, we have a quorum.
Well, I'm good. I mean, whether you say or not. He was just talking to somebody.
Oh, that's
He
right.
wanted to saw that two of us were here. Yeah, I got so. He was very like these kinds of things. There's other aspects of city government that he enjoys. Oh. You look like you got too much sun out there today.
Okay, that's good, all right.
Yeah, and I'm not making rain or something.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're gonna be.
I think, hey, look back, you know what we're doing so much easier?
Yeah.
We could have took, the people here and just give them an address and tell them just ride by there.
Oh, I gave them pictures of the whole,
You know, the whole
street view area.
another strong.
They do have pictures of the property,
We don't have to curves.
yeah, yeah.
Got lunch, came back.
But they do have, I mean, I gave them a street view of all the areas, so they're aware.
You know how when you take a nap, yeah, when you have to take a nap, you know, they feel like.
I know she was on that.
Oh, that team. I know.
So that. So.
Jefferson Party.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll go through it. And then you do the same thing with the minutes, separate completion.
I'll wait until
Well, that's so
I don't know exactly how he meant that, but just so you know.
Thanks.
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order. It is 6:05. First, we're gonna open up to any remarks for any visitors. Would any visitors like to step up?
What did you say?
Any visitors
Oh,
would like to speak at this time? No? Okay. So we're gonna open the hearing. We have a public hearing, that was submitted, a variance application submitted by Gerald Shiselski. The property is legally, described at S 4800 H and TC Block 9, Lot 1 through 5, Grimes County, Navasota, Texas. The owner seeks a variance for the sidewalk requirements along Dixon Street located in the B1 General Business District. City of Navasota Code of Ordinance state sidewalks shall be provided along all public streets. Would you like to come up and speak on that?
The reason for this is there's no curb, no gutters, so where's the sidewalk gonna go? Where are we gonna put the sidewalk? What if you come in after we put the sidewalk in, and you decide to curb the street? You gonna put the sidewalk out, or? Besides that, the parking lot is gonna lead from the front of the building all the way out to the street. So, I don't know where we need a sidewalk for. It's gonna be concrete from the building all the way out to the street,
All the way across?
all the way across.
So all the way to here.
Yes. In front of it, or that, in front of that building, have you got it?
Yeah, let me, you should have pointed. Right button.
Okay. So here's, what they put in right here, they just left that blank for landscaping. But that, all this is gonna be grass, there's gonna be landscaping here, landscaping here. So the parking that you're looking at right there, let me back up a little bit, because our flower beds right there, or shrubs down through here. Now, here's where your concrete's coming, from here, all the way out to here, all the way out to the street. So, I'm thinking, if you want a sidewalk, we can paint some yellow stripes down through there and label it. It's gonna be concrete anyway.
What is the roadway, right of way, how far out does it extend? Does it, that 24893, does it extend all the way out there to that line, or do you know?
It's the,
Wait a minute, the street,
it's an 80-foot right of way.
not to here, right?
No, it's all the way to the top.
That's the right of way.
From there to there? Okay. 80. So he's gonna come, and it's gonna be all the way across the lot, not just from the
No.
sides of the building?
No, the parking lot is gonna come from the side of the building straight down to here, from the side of the building straight down to the street. The rest of it will be grass and
The concrete is gonna be from each side
side of the building. Well, then your sidewalk would extend from the driveway where it ends over to the edge of the lot, right?
That'd
On
be,
both sides?
if you wanted to put one in, yeah. But I can't see putting a sidewalk in there now, and we don't have a curb on the street.
No, there's not a curb, I drove by and looked.
So, until we figure out where the curb is gonna go, I mean, you curve that street, I'll give you all the sidewalk you want. I don't have a problem with it, but there's no curb, we don't know where the curb is gonna sit, if it ever gets curved. So if we pour the sidewalk all the way across the front of the lot, then we decide to come in and curve it, we're gonna bust the sidewalk out, so we can put the curb in and then re-pour the sidewalk. Bring the concrete all the way out to the street.
Do you have anything similar, any other businesses similar, with a similar layout?
As far as a sidewalk without curb, we do actually, it's, well,
Will the parking lot have a curb?
No,
To prevent you from running off the edge of the concrete?
no. It's just gonna be sodded,
Okay.
it's just gonna be a flat slab.
so, Gerald, if you're planning to, do concrete all the way across, all the way to the edge of the street, I mean, could you say?
Concrete or asphalt,
Yeah.
which I don't think it's gonna be,
Mhm.
I think concrete will probably be cheaper than putting blacktop down,
Right.
for them truly.
So really, I mean, maybe a good solution would just be to have a one strip of grass separating the parking lot from the, I mean, you can call it sidewalk or a striped area. I mean, maybe that would be a good solution to, you know, technically it'll be a sidewalk, it just won't have a raised curb or anything. And if one day there is a curb put in, I mean, the city's willing to work with you on making sure that the placement is good with the right of way.
You're losing me, Luby. I'm kind of thinking what you're trying to tell me is bring the slab on down to the street and then leave a grass path in between the parking lot and,
Right. So you're basically creating a sidewalk at that point, but without, I mean, you're saving money on concrete, not having to pave all the way to the street.
how big a strip you want that? We're gonna have to run over it, pull it in there.
Yeah.
That won't
See,
work.
okay, with Frazier coming in here, okay, so he's gonna come, is that the side of the building here? Where's the parking lot?
Side of the building, right out there. You see where it's at?
Yeah,
We're coming, you see where the parking is?
right,
Okay, you can come from there, come straight down, come from there and come straight down.
okay.
So it's not gonna be exactly just the
So
width of the
from
building.
here, from here to here, there will be grass, is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
And then the same thing on the other side.
Yes, sir.
But that wouldn't accomplish the sidewalk all the way across the property, would it?
I mean, you have to have an entry though.
Yeah, he'd have an entry, that's definitely his.
Basically, the way we got it laid out, we're gonna come in here. We're gonna have like a chain link fence around here. We're gonna come in this way. Here's my shop area back here, those bay doors. Bring the vehicles in through there, they come out, I'll have another door here and come right back out this way.
Question, Gerald.
Yes,
Okay, so your property is next to the big metal building, it used to be stores or whatever.
yes.
Okay, then there was a lot, and then there used to be what used to be the North Side Grocery Store, there was a house there.
You remember that,
I
Judy?
went there for
Come
a
on.
long time. Yes, I did.
Yeah, that old house is still sitting there. Somebody jacked it up and started working on it and left it.
Okay, so Fraser Street is not quite next to you then, because you don't have that property.
No, that's
So
true.
there's a lot between you and Fraser Street.
Yeah, that old yellow house is sitting there jacked up.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
That's right.
So, you put the sidewalk here in front of his building, but I don't understand
Did
how,
I do something you do?
I didn't.
Okay.
so is the city,
This is on this corner is where, Mr. Krzyzewski intends to build his store. So this big lot will be divided in two.
That's correct.
The store will sit here, and this is Fraser, but it kind of, the easement is still there for the street, it's just that the street's just not there paved, but that is an easement right of way for
okay,
the
so
street.
then what is that next street? Oh,
Not sure.
Where's that old house?
Yeah, that old
This is-
house
this
is
is the
sitting
house
right in the middle of that, right away on Fraser, I think.
And this might have been already closed, this graphical map is not 100% survey accurate. But there is, even if it was closed, his property line is here to the edge of it. But the question is, if your driveway is in the middle, if you're not gonna put it over here,
No,
It's gonna be in a-
actually, the property line is gonna start right there and run straight back.
yeah, so if your driveway's in the middle,
This driveway is gonna be back to this building, for this building.
okay, so if your driveway's in the middle, the question is then sidewalks here and here, on both outer edges of the property.
so that lot we're talking about where Fraser Street goes through, the city owns that piece of property right
Is
there.
that right there?
Yeah,
I guess. I thought the yellow house was sitting right there.
Potentially, we don't know if that's closed or not, I can verify that.
There is a yellow house sitting there.
there hasn't been a street there since,
Right up against our property line.
Right, pretty close.
Yeah. I don't know who owns that. Cause Charlie and I were gonna try to buy it at one time and went over and looked at it, man, and floors or anything in it, so we would've just dozed it if we would've bought it, but somebody came in there and put all new seals and lifted it up and left.
Yeah.
So they don't really need a sidewalk going to that house.
and then what is it on the next two lots? I haven't been down that street in a long time. 4927, 4928, what's on that?
Here?
Yeah, the two lots over.
You got it
Oh,
right there and
this
there.
is another, it's basically a big metal building, it's not a home. And, let me pull up the zoning here.
So then it was sitting there before.
But that whole block is zoned business for potential future commercial use. That's why it's zoned that way. Here. So all the C1. And that's why there's a gap there. And like I said, I'll have to verify if this is ever closed or still open.
So basically, he just needs to add sidewalks on the corners.
Yeah, if his driveway's here, then the question is, he's asking for a variance not to put the sidewalks on both sides of his driveway.
Counselor, do you want to give any guidance?
Well, I would, just recommend maybe that we walk through, the flow chart that I provided, during our training. Those are really gonna be kind of the pertinent questions, whether, kind of like we talked about in training, whether sidewalks should be required or not, is a decision really left to the city council of the B1 district and kind of the policy behind that. I think what is before us tonight is just a question of, whether the findings can be made for this specific request that are required to be made, by law before we can grant the request. And so, I don't know if we want to go through it together, or if everyone just wants to kind of read through the flow chart and see if you can get to a place where you feel, that those findings are made. But that's really what is going to be, legally required, those findings for variance to be granted. And that's based on, again, state law and then the city's code ordinances that incorporate those requirements.
Can we see the wording of the ordinance?
Yes.
That's next to
Or you pull it up on.
yeah. I think I already had it. It is right here. This is under the B1 zoning regulations, and this is your sentence here. Says a sidewalk shall be provided along both sides of all public streets. And obviously that wouldn't apply to the south side since he's only developing the north.
So I'm conflicted on this because I know prior to our training, we've approved some similarly situated lots. And I also don't think that this necessarily meets all the criteria that we have in this flow chart. So I really wish we had a third option, which was to do what you suggest, and is to allow you to put a sidewalk in if and when the street and drainage is addressed and redone. However, we don't have that option.
That, property that was not blocked off, who owns that?
Fraser, that part of Fraser that was closed,
So
that's
that's,
still the city?
so according to our GIS map, that looks to be kind of like a dead end where Fraser stops. But like I said, I would have to go and verify to make sure that that hasn't been closed off and deeded. Usually like with alleyways, if they are closed off, then both properties on the joining sides get half. So if that was the case on this, then, Mr. Strzelski's property would fall about
Usually
here.
expand,
Yeah.
so that would be more sidewalk.
Yes. But like I said, I would have to verify if that is in fact still open right of way or if it's been closed.
Personally, I think I would want to know that prior.
Y'all look at something here for a minute, right here. I think that's the tire shop, isn't it? Exactly what he did. He poured all this right here new, and he poured it back to the street. And that's there and there. And that's what you're gonna be looking at here.
So there'd be no grade variance from your new pour and the street.
No. The only grade variance is gonna be when it hits the porch got on the front of the building. You know, there's gonna be probably a 3/8 variance there, and we'll have to put a handicap ramp in on one of those parking areas.
So is there a definition of what a sidewalk is?
Go back to.
Well, it tells you what the requirement is, but I can.
Like the physical description of a sidewalk.
Yeah. If people have it all the this part, this building.
So
But
that it-
potentially he could just paint a sidewalk.
Exactly.
Sure, yeah.
Is that what
I
I
mean, I can put 2 yellow lines, or I can paint the whole sidewalk red,
And
and
you
put it in
fix,
white,
And maybe
call
just
it
like put
sidewalk.
how you put the yellow linings for pedestrian walking.
I
I'm being creative right
can
now.
like sidewalk in white on there.
and your fence will be, you know, behind, you'll have an area in front of the
Well,
fence.
you know, you got that buffer in there, I can't put my fence all the way on the street. So, yeah, the fence is gonna be behind it, then I'm gonna have, you know, the gates are gonna slide or swing, however we're gonna do it. So when we get ready to pull in, we just pull it straight in.
Yeah, I think a good way to think about it maybe would be some of the, when you pull into the, through the driveways here where there are sidewalks, and you pull in and park, maybe like in that back lot of the city, those sidewalks just extend off of the driveway, right? They're not necessarily designated, oh, just this portion of this driveway is a sidewalk. So I don't my interpretation of the ordinance wouldn't be that he needed to paint anything necessarily. Essentially, he would just need to extend his driveway, which is really what that is.
Exactly.
Right.
The driveway, based on the ordinance, would need to extend with 6 foot width minimum to each side of the property lines, and that would satisfy the sidewalk requirements. There wouldn't be anything additional that would need to be done to the driveway. It would just be the additional concrete to connect basically that driveway 6 foot width out to the edges of the property line.
That's where the driveway is going right here. You see where this last parking is? Come straight down. Where this last parking is, come straight down. Right there. I'm gonna pull in and park right there. And this one is, where you see where the ramp is. See where the handicap parking spot is. The fence is really gonna designate a sidewalk, just to be real about it. And when the gate's closed, the rest of the concrete's out to the street, that's all the sidewalk you need. It'll probably be more than any 6 feet.
Well, I mean, it kind of sounds to me like there already is a sidewalk planned, whether you call it one or not.
It's concrete when you walk on
Well, it's not planned this way to the edge of the property. But now we got a problem with, does his property go here? To the middle of that
Yeah.
closed.
And how would that affect him if that was his property?
It would definitely take some, maneuvering and interpretation. I mean, if it is in fact a street, obviously, you know, like the ordinance says, sidewalk needs to be provided in front of all right of ways, so that means potentially that, you know, the sidewalk would have to come here and then wrap around that way, but obviously that wouldn't be, I mean, that would definitely be a sidewalk to nowhere at that point.
Yeah.
Um, but, like I said, I think maybe what's best is to clarify where the property lines sit here. I mean, Chris, I think your idea of some kind of an agreement, maybe that can be written up where at the time where the curve is made, then a sidewalk will be installed by, Mr. Shastelsky. So, I mean, I think we can take it back to, the drawing table and see what we can figure out.
Yeah, because, I mean, you don't have any way of knowing exactly where that curve is gonna be, you know? If they do put a curve on both sides of the street, then they're gonna have to bust out the concrete at Holly Airport at the tire shop.
Right.
In order to put a curve there.
And Luke, I got a question for you. As far as, hey Luke,
Yes.
as far as the, if we decided to come, you know, kind of come back at this at a later time after we do a little bit more investigation on that road, would it be, I mean, could they table it and then be able to come back, or do they have to deny it?
No, you could table the matter and bring it back up at a future meeting.
Okay.
That way you can avoid another. You're not getting charged again for that application.
I hope not. What, I mean, why are you tabling it? What, I don't understand. What are you gonna investigate? I guess is what I'm asking.
Basically this,
If it's open or closed?
yeah, well, the thing is, if it is closed, then your
My
sidewalk,
property line is in the middle of
yeah, your
that.
sidewalk will have to extend this way.
Yeah,
And if it's not, but granted, I mean, I think, or maybe that's what, and if it is still open, then maybe that's something that needs to be discussed, and I mean, you know, that's something that needs to be, city council have to address that, if they wanna close this or not, and leave it there. And, I mean, right now, I think potentially that would be an option to close it off, and then at that point, your sidewalk would have to extend to roughly here. At the edge of
Not
your
just
property.
on that side, it would be on the other side also.
Well, no, the other side
At
of
least 6 foot, right?
well, it would be
Or
here,
6 foot wide,
yeah, it would be
to right
to
there.
here,
Right.
Yeah, that would happen.
yeah, that would already happen, yeah.
Well, not necessarily if his driveway is not gonna be over there.
But you're planning on pouring all the way across. The gate will just be open where your driveway is. So
right.
Uh,
you'll have,
Well, you're looking at you see the width of the building, then where the parking spaces come out, It's gonna be more concrete, quite naturally, where we're looking on the right-hand side than it is on the left-hand side. But everywhere you see, where you see the two outside parking slots, bring it straight down to the street.
See, so that doesn't cover all of this line.
Exactly. That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I make a motion we table it till a later date,
I would second
and
that.
we have some more investigation going on.
Oh, well, it's not, it's until the next time.
Oh, next item.
Yeah, close the public hearing.
Okay,
Well, do you wanna do it, or anybody have any more questions? I think we beat a
Luke, anything
dead
you want?
horse.
Anything else y'all would like to add?
I'm sorry?
Anything else y'all would like to add?
Give me a variance.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close the public meeting at 6:30. And we'll go on to number 4, consideration of possible action regarding variance application submitted by Gerald Chatelski. The property is legally described as S 4800 H&TC Block 9, Lot 1 through 5, Grimes County, Navasota, Texas. The owner seeks a variance for the sidewalk requirements along Dixon Street located in the B1 General Business District. City of Navasota Code of Ordinance states sidewalks shall be provided along all public streets.
Before you make a motion, Luke, I have a question. In order to comply with the Open Meetings Act, so we don't have to post again in the newspaper, is it possible that they can table it at an exact date? So we don't have to put another ad, or will we have to put another ad
You
out?
still have to post again.
Okay.
You won't have to post for the public hearing, you would just need to post your open meetings, requirement. So the notice on outside of the.
Okay, so not in the official
Right,
newspaper.
Right, we've conducted the public hearing, already tonight, so that will not have to be done again.
Okay.
Just the action will take place, at a future meeting. You're not required to have the public hearing at the same meeting that you take the action on.
And for clarification, all of us would need to be present, us, because we do have alternates.
Yes, you would, right, yes, I guess some of y'all are alternates, right, okay. Yeah, so if the meeting is considered, it would be best if all 5 of you, move on.
Anyone want to entertain a motion? Tabling the matter?
Yeah, I'll move to table it.
Okay, made a motion.
Yeah, I'll say
Any
it.
questions? Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So Lupe, you gonna check and see if that is closed?
Yes.
Okay, we may have another problem, and that may be why they stopped working on that house. That house may be sitting square in the middle of that,
Yeah,
and that's probably what happened. They jacked it up and put new seals on it and all that. I think that house sitting in the middle of that, or at least on the edge of that street right away.
Yeah.
Cause it's right there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like their living room is halfway in the street.
Yeah, exactly to the right. So that's gonna take some more investigating.
Well, they didn't stop because we told them,
Yeah.
I know that. I wouldn't have told them.
Well, they may have started digging and figured it out too, I don't know.
Well, see, years ago, there used to be a washateria in that lot right there.
Not with, you talking about where the street right away is now?
Where they're talking about where the.
Here?
Yes, right there.
I watched it here.
Washateria. A lady by the name of Hope Willoughby used to own that property. And what happened through the years, I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Check it out, Lupe, let me know if I gain some property.
Yeah.
Okay? Hey, let me know.
All right.
Thank y'all.
We're gonna go ahead and move to number 5, consideration and possible action on approval of the December 13th, 2017 meeting minutes as presented. Motion.
I'll make a motion they be approved as presented.
Do you have a second?
I'll say.
I'll second. Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, meeting adjourned.
Is it?
Casey's the only one. I know that it's been tabled and all, but since we have Luke here, and the intent was for him to teaching way, go down this list
Yeah,
as though it were being considered right now. Can we allow Luke to do that? And you all listen as you go through it, and so we can all learn together how to use his list?
yeah, because the second one, I have a question about, the second question.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you for open meetings act purposes, I'm gonna go through this list with you. But if you have questions, if you could give them to Lupe, and I will respond in an email. Because technically we've closed this meeting already. And so I think I can give you some information right now. But the five of you cannot be present while we discuss that at the same time, right? So I'm gonna walk through the list with you and kind of tell you, I guess, my interpretation of this, but you won't be able to respond. But if you have questions as we go, as I'm going through this, write them down, get them to Lupe, and then I can respond in an email that he can send out to y'all. But again, it's government, there's some weird quirky things. But like I said, it's going to keep y'all out of trouble, right?
Of course. I wanna go home.
Okay, so I'll run through this list real quick. So the first question, and again, this is coming from section 22.2 of the Code of Ordinances. And in there, it sets out that the zoning board shall be authorized to grant a variance from the terms hereof, if and only if the board finds after public notice and public hearing that due to special conditions, the strict enforcement of this ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship to the applicant. The requested variance is not contrary to the public interest. The granting of the variance would preserve the spirit and intent of the ordinance, and substantial justice is done by the granting of the variance. So those are the state law requirements, and then like we talked about at the training, some of those requirements have been kind of fleshed out by case law in Texas. And so some of the things that case law says is, well, a special condition needs to be a special condition of this particular property, something unique about this property. An example I gave at the training of something that might not meet that requirement would be a perfectly flat, perfectly square piece of property with no 100-year-old oak trees in the middle of it that you wouldn't want to chop down, right? Like if it's a square piece of property, flat, no other kind of natural trees, ponds, anything like that on it, then you likely, under state law, would not have a special condition of that property, right? There's no unique or unusual topography on that property. So thinking about the request tonight, looking at those pictures, the ultimate decision is up to you, but that's the lens that state law says you need to be filtering it through, right? So when you look at a picture of that property, you know, think about what does that property look like? Is there an unusual condition of this property? If you answer yes to that, then you would move to the next step. If you look at, you know, this picture that Lupe provided, and it's a flat piece of property with no trees on it, then the answer to that first question would likely be no. There's nothing unique about this property that would prohibit it from complying with the city's zoning ordinance. Right, so we're trying to determine, is there something unique about this that keeps this property from being able to comply with the policy that the city council has set, which in this case is we want developers to be putting in sidewalks, right? So that as each of these properties are developed, they each will put in sidewalks, and eventually you will have sidewalks connected throughout the pedestrian schemes, right? That's kind of the policy city council has set. We're trying to determine if there's something unique about this property that would prohibit it from doing that. So let's say we got to yes on that. I'm not saying we should in this case, but let's say we did. Then we would say, 2 was kind of, I encompass that in there. Is it unique to this property? So is there something special, and is it unique to this property? Is the condition self-imposed or self-created? So it cannot be something that was created by the property owner, right? So if the property owner has done something to the property that creates the issue as to why they need a variance, then it does not meet state law requirements. So an example maybe would be if a property owner has platted a property, right, they've created lots on a property, and then because of the way that property owner platted the property, they need a variance from the setback requirements because they can't fit the size of home on there that they want. Well, that owner is the one who platted that property. They created the need for that variance by making the lots the sizes that they did, right? So an owner cannot create the issue. It can't be self-imposed or self-created. The next step, let's say that it's not self-imposed or self-created, will a literal enforcement of the zoning ordinance result in an unnecessary hardship? So it needs to be some sort of hardship that would be experienced above that of the general public. So something unique to this individual owner and this property again. An example may be if something applies citywide and an owner is saying, well, I just don't want to do this, it's especially onerous to me. That wouldn't really be enough, right? They would need to show how this is affecting them more than it affects everyone else who would have to comply with this. Unnecessary hardship, it's not on the flow chart, but unnecessary hardship also means not purely financial, right? So if someone comes in, case law says that this cannot be purely financial. So if someone comes in, we talked about sidewalks tonight, so let's say in the future, this developer didn't necessarily say this, but let's say a developer comes in and says, well, I would like to vary from the sidewalk requirements because it's going to cost, $10,000 extra to put in these sidewalks. And I don't want to spend that money. That alone, under state law, would not be a valid reason, right? The only reason they're giving you is purely financial. Like it's an undue hardship on me in that I have to spend more money. But state law would say, no, that does not meet the requirements. It has to be more than something that's purely financial in nature. The next one on there, so let's say it's not purely financial in nature and we made it down to the next step. Will the hardship prevent any reasonable use whatsoever? Here's where I put the financial considerations in. So, without the grant of requested variance, the property owner would be deprived of the right to use his property. So, let's say someone has bought a property, it was previously cut up to a certain size, the owner didn't do it themselves, and it's in maybe a B1 district, and there's no way, because of the size of the lot, that they could build anything under the city's ordinances. It's not possible for them to use that property in any way. That would meet those requirements. But again, if someone is coming in and saying, well, I want to do it differently just because it's going to save me some money, it's not that I couldn't design it a certain way, it's not that I couldn't build on it or use it for a different purpose, but the thing that's going to make me the most money or save me the most money is X. So I would like a variance to allow me to do that. That would not meet the requirements set out by state law. And again, I know some of these may seem kind of harsh in the midst of actually hearing someone come in and request that. But I would remind you that these are state law requirements and what judges have interpreted this to mean, right? This isn't even the city council saying, well, we just want to be extra strict in Minnesota. That's not what's happening here. We're just interpreting state law provisions and what the state is saying is required in order for a board of adjustment to grant the variance. And then the last two, will the grant of variance be contrary to the public interest? This one is more subjective, right? And that the five of you here have the ability to kind of determine whether you think it would be contrary to the public interest or not. Again, like we talked about at the training, any legal reason you can deny it for if We mentioned there, maybe you just don't like Bob, Bob's the one requesting the variance, and you decide, well, Bob, anything Bob wants to do is contrary to the public interest, because I don't like him. That's not enough, right? We would need to be able to articulate what it is that is contrary to the public interest, but if you feel for some reason, even if all these other requirements are met, but you think it's just not the best, it's contrary to the interests of the citizens of Navasota, you can deny a request based on that. So you have some pretty wide leeway in that one. And then, is it within the spirit of the ordinance and does it further substantial justice? Again, this one is a little bit more subjective, especially when we start talking about substantial justice. The key, I think, when we get to this last question, I would say this last question is a catch-all. But unfortunately, I would say that it is a negative catch-all for you. In that if you make it through all the rest of these and their yeses, and you get to the last one, but you don't want to approve something, then I think you could use this kind of as a catch-all to say, oh, it doesn't meet the spirit of the ordinance, substantial justice isn't done. Based on case law and state law requirements, what you couldn't do is kind of flip this list upside down and say, well, it doesn't really meet these first two or three, but I think substantial justice would be done if we just granted it, right? That's why I say it's not a positive catch-all, and that you can throw anything into that you want. It's really kind of your last opportunity to deny something if you want to, if you made it yes on all the rest of these.
Okay, now I've got a question about the flow chart. Flow chart.
I know, unfortunately,
Yeah, you have to-
unfortunately,
That's why I wanted to know.
No
Okay,
question,
then.
just take them for the thing.
yeah,
And then
unfortunately.
we'll go
And,
Not even about the flow chart.
No,
Yeah, we're in like a gray area even where we go now. But I drove here, so I want to make sure that I give you as much information as I can.
and Luke, and just in, I don't know, I can ask you a question, right?
Okay.
No, you can't. You're
Just
Bob.
Yeah, I'm Bob today, guys. Basically, if I'm understanding you correctly, right, Luke, everything on this list has to be a yes for them to approve the variance, essentially. It has to meet all these requirements.
It has to meet all the requirements, yeah.
It can't be 2 out of 4, 4 out of 3, it has to be all
Right,
requirements.
yeah, so this flow chart is designed to meet, it's designed to get you to a place that meets the findings of fact that are required by state law and the city's ordinance. So I started out by reading you the ordinance and what it requires. This breaks it down a little bit more because it's incorporating what Texas courts have said, right? But yes, you have to find all of these. I wouldn't say that they're all a yes, because the third question is a condition self-imposed or self-created.
Oh, yeah.
If you answer yes to that one, then you would stop, right? But the rest of them, I believe, all are affirmative. Like you answer yes and you go on. And that's why it really, under each question, it's kind of designed to walk you through it, right? So the first one, if you're able to answer yes, continue. If no, stop, right? And there may be some of them that you never get past the first question. And again, you know, this is not the city council or the city of Navasota setting these requirements or saying we think we should be this strict. This is the state of Texas essentially just saying this is the power of the Board of Adjustment. Like it or leave it until the state of Texas changes what a Board of Adjustment can legally do. This is kind of what we're stuck with, right? And there's lots of areas, you know, not just in zoning or with the BOA, sometimes where cities will scratch their heads and wonder why state law only allows us to do certain things, but those are kind of parameters that we all have to work with. So I did want to make that clear. I'm not sure I made that clear at the training. You know, if you are frustrated with this flow chart at times and what it is telling you to do, those frustrations should be directed at the state legislature and not the city council, because there's nothing they could do about that either. Unfortunately, right, you would think they should be able to, but state law doesn't allow us to do that. So that's kind of how we walk through that. Again, you know, I think the pictures that Lupe provides are helpful. You know, tonight you could look at those pictures and then look at that first question and try and determine, does it meet this requirement? Is there anything unique about this property? Is there, you know, a big hump at the beginning that can't be graded out, that's gonna prevent a sidewalk from going on? Or is there a 100-year-old oak tree that's right where a sidewalk would go, and we really don't wanna tear that tree down, those sorts of things? Is there a pond that would prevent it from going in? The pictures, I think, are helpful in walking through those first few questions. And again, if you have more questions about this chart in general, or specific questions about the process, you can get those to Lupe, and then I can respond in email to them, and we can kind of get you all that information. But we definitely want you to feel, you know, you have all the information that you need when you're looking through this.
So I don't want to ask you a question, but I want to ask a question as a new person,
Okay,
but I'm not asking you.
right.
Okay, so I was hold it.
Well, you
Yeah,
can't be in
unfortunately, you can't
the
ask
presence.
them.
Yeah.
Because we're here.
If you have a question as a new person,
Uh-huh.
when we all kind of disperse, you can hang around and Lupe or I
Grab
can
somebody,
answer it to you.
okay.
Yeah.
But while we're all in the same place, the Open Meetings Act prevents us from doing those sorts of
Okay.
things. So,
Got it.
okay, I'm sitting here like I'm waiting for you to ask me questions, but you can't.
No.
That's all I have. So, yeah, but if you do, you know, write them down, and get them to Lupe, and I'll answer them soon.
Can I ask you a question? I want you to explain how we can meet 4 out of 3 conditions.